guiding, man guide the destiny of God on earth. But I have it here on only gods can guide the eternal destiny of God on earth. Now, why I have to use the word eternal is because the destiny of God on earth is actually eternal. Now, there's a difference between perishable destiny and eternal destiny. Now, the altar I am standing on, those of us who know Locust Army early, like 20, 25 years, you know that the actual name of this altar is the altar of eternal destiny. Only God can establish the eternal destiny of God on earth. Now, I would like you to listen. Why it has to be God's is that men should take the nature of God if they want to function for Him. Can I say it again? I say men must take the nature of God. God does not give immortal men perishable things. Please. That's why someone like me cannot own a house. I told you in Galilee, when they were building that house there in Galilee there, I told them, I said, the name Chris Christian must not appear on any receipt. The name Chris Christian must not appear on any landed property. Because Christian can't have land. Christian can only use what belongs to Locust Army and leave it for them eventually. What I must not miss is taking the nature of God. Since this year, I've been telling God that He should tell me the best hour to withdraw. Because I have to start withdrawing from this year. That is, withdraw at least for 40 days. Privately, not general 40 days of Locust Army. In that 40 days, sometimes I might come to church and sit down a little while. And sometimes I might not come at all, but I will be around. I have to start it this year. It's a must. That is different from Locust Army 40 days. 40 days of Locust Army, I come to teach. That one, I will not come to church. Because the time of that has come. That's why I'm trying to be around for these 100 days. Then I will not know when I will start withdrawing. If you ask me to go to the mountain, physical mountain, I'll go there. If you ask me to go to the bush, I'll still go there. If you ask me to stay around, I can be in the Life Lodge. But if it's to miss it, it's not this year. There are some things God will not allow you to control for him until you take some image. Let me say it again. I said there are some things God will not allow you to control for him until you put on certain image. You were telling me about how Moses, he was telling me in the morning, he said, can I see Mount Sinai? I said, no, Mount Sinai. He said, Mount Sinai, that day you went there, was there a building there? I said, no. He said, how many places are more important than it in eternity? Then he said, do you know Gethsemane? I said, I know Gethsemane, where Jesus to pray, where he prayed. I said, is there an eternal place? I said, I will never forget it. It's already in the Bible. Then he said, have you announced any place? He said, buildings. Is it as important as building yourself? He said, you're building block and cement and you're happy with it. He said, these are things that are perishable. We cannot use perishable values to guide God's destiny. Men cannot guide the destiny of God on earth. I mean, the destiny of the true God. That is why in chapter 11:12 of Deuteronomy, the Bible says the eyes of God was there. It wasn't just really God. No, it wasn't God. It was Moses in God form. A transformed man. Somebody who have taken the image and likeness of God. Have you ever asked yourself why Lagos have not developed? Because men are dying. And eternal men are not born. Nigeria, men are dying and eternal men are not there. Pastors are conscious of looking for convert. They are not turning into divinity. They are always conscious. They are happy about being servant of Jesus. They are not even talking about coming to the realm of God for themselves, so that they can keep the destiny of God. And do you know why it is difficult for them? It's because of the next topic I called, God shares his eyes only with God. God shares his eyes with God. The spirit that you will live for is the one that gave you the eyes you use in sin. That is not your paper. I said the spirit that men live for is the one that gives them the eyes they see with. So, what spirit gave you the eyes you're seeing with? The power of decision. As I'm here preaching, destinies are multiplying. God called Jeremiah in Jeremiah chapter 1, 11 and 12 and said, Jeremiah, what are you seeing? I want you to tell me what you're seeing so that I will know how I will relate with you. I want to know